Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this Mama sweatshirt. Let's get right to it. So for the materials we're going to be using, it's going to be this is my base sweatshirt here. This is something my sister got off Amazon. Link can be in the description too. And then I have these other baby onesies that were for my nieces and nephew. And these are going to be the actual letters, which I have pre-cut out using my laser so that we can get the placement right. So for actual materials for fixing the onesies to the actual sweatshirt, when I cut out the letters, we're going to be using the purple color of Heat and Bond. So this is what you can use. You just iron it onto your material and then peel the transfer tape off once you actually do the once you iron it, and then you can place it onto your sweatshirt, and then that way it kind of holds it. Then you don't have to use like pins and needles or tape or stuff like that. There are other ways you can do it, like you can use some type of glue or a spray glue. I'm not going to deal with that. It just makes more mess. So we're just going to stick with this material. As far as stability, we got these. This is a 2.5 ounce cutaway stabilizer. This is just white. You can use any color, but this is going to be on the inside, just so that it's, it gives it a little bit more rigidity, so that it doesn't, get all wonky and everything. So for the tools we're going to be using, it's just a standard scissors here. You can use any kind. This is just Friscares. And then this is one that I like a lot. It allows you to get into tight corners. It's spring loaded, so if you're doing a lot of snipping, it doesn't wear on your hands as much. And then just a typical household 120 volt iron, and we're just using that for the heat and bond as mentioned earlier. Moving over to actually cutting the applique pieces, I have a silhouette here. I'm actually not going to be using this for that, but I'm just showing you that you can use it, or you can cut it out by hand. You can do whatever method you want, but we're actually going to be using my laser cutter, and the laser cutter just makes it a lot quicker and cleaner. So now we're going to talk about the actual placement and the choices that we're going to use for the letters. So this is the pink one from my first niece, and we're basically going to determine where we're going to place the letters, and a reason for that is if I grab the blue one for my nephew and I let you zoom in on it, you can see how there's a stain right in the middle of it, and we don't want to put, because this is going to be an M, so if I put an M right there, it's going to be really discolored, and we don't want that. So in this case, for this one, I'm going to be using the back side, and what I'm specifically going to be doing is I'm going to take this, and probably when I put on my laser, I'm going to cut it like that, so that way if I make a mistake, I can, just create another one, and I can kind of piece these out. So I can potentially get 3 reproductions done with this single onesie right here. Gives me a lot of leeway in case, everyone makes mistakes, so you got to plan ahead. So putting that one off the side, we'll bring the pink one back in. Same thing, I'm just going to determine exactly where I'm going to place it. Right there on the front, I have 2 right there, so I'm good. Now that I have my letters actually placed exactly where I'm going to need them and I have it oriented, I'm going to go ahead and cut it open so that I can put my fusible interface on it. It'll just keep it from fraying, and again, it'll just make it easier to apply it to the sweatshirt. So I'll go ahead and take my letters off, and then I'm going to button this, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut along the seams, cut the sleeves off so that I have a nice flat surface. So here I go. Okay, I can get rid of that. And now I have my actual material here. So with the fabric being cut out, I'm going to go ahead and put my fusible stabilizer on it. I got my iron warming up. Clear this off so I can slide it in. And I'm going to put these aside. So to prevent damage to my actual work area, I'm just using the mat from my heat press, and I can put a lot of pressure on it. I can put a lot of heat into it because that's what it's designed for. So what I'm going to do now is take this, and I am just going to lay this on here, and I'm going to cut it just like that. So depending on the actual fusible interface that you get, I recommend you look at the instructions on it. They all have different temperatures, ranges, pressures, and stuff. So mine, I know that I just put the iron directly on it. And my tip is I just run it around real quick. It kind of sets it a little bit so it doesn't move and bubble and everything. And then I'm going to apply about 10 seconds of pressure to get it to actually be secure. Okay, so now it's already not going to move. And now I'm just going to hold it on. Now that I got this one done, I got my fusible interface on the back of it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to speed through the other three just because it's the same process. Now that these are ready, I'm going to take these out to my laser cutter so I can get the letters cut into them. With my letters cut out, I'm going to go ahead and get the sweatshirt hooped up so that I can get the actual applique placement lines on it, and then we can go ahead and get it, sewing the letters on. So I'm going to put these aside. So first thing is I'm going to unfold this. So now that I have my sweatshirt laid out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hoop and I'm going to plan this out. So with my hoop, I'm going to take this off, set it aside, and with it loosened all the way up, I'm going to slip it inside the sweatshirt, making sure that I do the front, not the back. Another little trick is you want to make sure that you are embroidering within the proper area of the sweatshirt. So the trick is you're going to do 3 fingers here, and you want to make sure that the bottom here is within your field. So right now I have here's the ring of my hoop. I need to make sure that I can get within that. So I'm going to go ahead and slide it up a little bit more. So with it being centered left and right, I'm going to go ahead and get it centered vertically to where I need it to be. So I'm going to bring this up so that I have it right here so that I can get it exactly where I need it. And just because I moved it, you're going to double check. See, I moved it left a little bit. So right here, and I can also use the geometry of the hoop, and now I can line it up with the tag, and now it's good. So with that in place, I'm going to go ahead and put the stabilizer in it. So this is just a 2.5 ounce cutaway stabilizer. So a quick tip with stabilizer, since it's a square going into, the shoulders are a little curved, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it around here just so that I can fit it in a little easier. So obviously I don't want to, cut it past what my hoop is, so I have my finger there so I can kind of keep track of where it is. And I'm just going to do the same over here. And now it'll be a lot easier to place it inside the sweatshirt. So now that I have the stabilizer in on top of the hoop, I'm going to grab the other part of the hoop and we're going to complete the double hooping. So I'm going to find it and place it in, and you want to make sure that you have your actual brackets placed in the right way. And I'm just going to slip it into my hoop. So with it actually secured, I'm going to tighten it so that it's, tight against the frame. And then I'm going to re-hoop it because I have all this extra slack in here. So I'm going to go ahead, reach in, I'm going to lift it up a little bit, and I'm just going to tighten it. I'm not going to do it super tight because then I won't be able to get it back on, but it'll be snug. So now I got it on, and I'm going to pop it off. And then I can just, try to get some of it away. And go ahead and redo it. So now I'm going to go ahead, put it on my tajima so I can get the placement lines put on so I can get my letters on. So with the design loaded into my machine, I'm going to go ahead and place it exactly where I need it to be. So the internet will tell you need to be anywhere between 3.5 to 4.5 inches from the collar of the shirt. So I know that my hands with 4 fingers is about 3 inches. So I'm just going to put it at the top, and I can see that I have about another 2 fingers. So I'm just going to bring it back a little bit, just so it sits up just a little bit higher. And I can also use a ruler and put it in and find needle 7, and I'm at about 4.25. So that's perfect for what I want right now. So before you run any design, you should always trace your design. You never want to hit your hoop. Usually that can void your warranty. So I'm going to go ahead and tell my machine to trace. Okay, so with it done tracing, it was good, proper placement. We're going to go ahead and start it. So now that my placement lines are done, we're going to go ahead and put the letters on it. So now I'm going to have to place my letters, so I'm going to grab them, and I want to make sure that I put them in the correct order. So what I did off camera real quick was I consulted with my sister, and I put numbers on the back of them with Sharpie just so that I can keep it in order. So now I'm going to take the fusible interface off my letters. So I'm going to be using one of our favorite tools, 3D Puff Pro tool, and I can just slip it in underneath the backing of the fusible interface, and I can just peel it off. So now I'm going to place my letter. I'm just going to line it up with the black outline that we just did. And I got that. I'm just following all the way around, and now I'm going to take the iron and I'm just going to place it on for a couple of seconds. Okay, and then I'm just going to go run through the rest of them, and I'm just going to peel all the backing off and stick them all. With my letters tacked down using the iron-on, I'm going to go ahead and put it back on the tajima, and we're going to run the actual satin border all the way around. And real quick, one additional tip that's going to save you a little bit of a headache is just reach underneath and make sure that you can grab the sewing arm and you don't have like the back of the sweatshirt caught underneath, or you're just going to waste the whole garment. So now that the design is off the machine, I'm going to go ahead and unhoop it and pull the inside hoop out. And I'm going to put that over here and shut the machine off. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and clean this up really quickly. I'm just going to clip all these little jump stitches. And now I'm just going to use my lint roller to get rid of all the little threads. And the next step is I'm going to flip it inside out so that way I can trim the stabilizer. I don't have to do the whole thing, I just need to be able to get access to it. So the key to this is you're going to want to leave about a ½ inch all the way around your material just so that it doesn't get worn a little bit and come undone. So I'm just going to go make sure that I don't cut into the sweatshirt. So I'm looking at the back side and I'm just going to follow around. And it's a lot safer to just glide your scissors across instead of keep on cutting. And I'll just round this edge off a little bit. And now that that is trimmed up, I'm going to flip it. And I'm just going to quickly look over it, make sure everything's good, don't have any extra threads anywhere, and that looks like it's good. If you guys like this video, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave a like, and also click the notification bell so you get notified of any future uploaded videos that we do. Be sure to check the description to join us on all of our other social media platforms like our Facebook group, our page, and our Discord. We'd love to see you in all those locations, and thank you for watching.